Alright, so the next MIDI controller I want to show you is the Keith McMillan Softstep. An incredibly small, compact foot controller that just really, it's just got every possible option you could ever want when it comes to foot control, including, if you look at the back, an expression pedal input, which I use normally. So what I got going on right now is I've got an Ableton set where I've put a looper in there, and I'm going to show you how not only I navigate through my set, but I use a looper and use the foot controller to do a lot of things that will keep my hands free to be able to do other stuff, such as play instruments or whatever else I'm doing on stage. So first of all, I can navigate my scenes by clicking on these controls. I've mapped all this, by the way. And if you want to learn more about mapping, there's going to be a whole video on that, completely super in-depth video on mapping. But what I'm doing is I'm just using these controls to scroll through my set. I've mapped the first button, number 1 here, to launching the scene. And when I launch it, when I pick my hand up, it will literally jump to the next scene. So as you can see, I can just navigate through my set just by clicking on number 1. It'll just jump to the next scene. So I have my songs set up in this way. It's super useful. So now I'm going to get on to the looping part. I'm just going to launch a scene and loop my guitar. So now I can go to the next part, and I've mapped the stop button to 1. So I've mapped 2 controls to 1 button. So as you can see, using a foot controller, I mean, this thing is incredible. I'm going to say a couple things about it. It's really it's flexible too. Like, you can bend it and not worry about what's going on with it. It's a little difficult to figure out how to program this thing. I may end up doing a video on just how to program this, but I also want to say I've done a lot here. I've successfully recorded something. I've looped something. I'm stepping through the scenes. I'm using MIDI mapping. I know this is all this is all a little over some people's heads. That's okay. I'm going to post a bunch of the links to those kinds of videos, such as MIDI mapping, looping, recording audio, and all that other stuff. It's going to be under here. I just did this just to show you what's possible with a foot controller. And obviously this would be on the floor, and I would use my feet instead of my hands, but I wanted obviously to have it up here so you could see it. Yeah, so that's the Keith McMillan Softstep 2 MIDI controller. There's other floor pedals available out there, but up until this point I haven't found anything that has so much capability in such a small and portable package. It's pretty sweet.